All right, welcome back to the Mile High Focus. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're wrapping this up on a Sunday with the defensive preview. If you haven't yet, go check out the offensive preview. We did that a couple days ago. If you haven't watched that yet, please take some time to go check it out. We just broke down the offense the same way we're going to today. I'm here with Bryce. How are you doing, my man?
Chilling, man. Watching college football. College football's back.
Yeah.
Um, Other than watching Arch Manning get shit on, I didn't really
Yeah.
lock into any games. If that makes sense. I watched a
Yeah.
little bit of the Oregon game. Oregon was looked as good as ever.
Yeah, I honestly thought that the theme, man, was like the defenses just showed out in college this week.
That and just QBs in general, kind of underperforming. Not saying all of them. Some of them look
Yeah,
pretty good. I want to say Nussmeier, LSU, looked pretty good.
yeah. Nussmeier looked good. Julian Saint, obviously, I thought he there's a lot of easy stuff that Ryan Day and his coaching staff was scheming up for him, but he looked good. Um, Nico Iamaliava didn't
Ugh.
look good. I was watching
Yeah,
that game a little bit late
I
against
was
Utah.
too. You're
Shout out
right. Yeah, I did see
Dan
a little bit
Pierre.
about that.
Yeah, shout out to Pierre from Utah. He's a former Lobo, so he looked good. But yeah, I'm pretty glad to have college football back. My Buffs looked a little rough. Hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully Dion gets straightens it up a little bit, but so there you go. So basically, we're gonna go and do the same thing we did with the offense. We have 4 different categories. We are breaking this down into. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna go with the one thing that we expect to be better about the Broncos 2025 defense. And Bryce, let's go ahead, man. What do you got here?
Yeah. So first things first. This defense in general, just all around the board. There's so many talking points that you can have on like how high their floor is, how high their ceiling is, and whatnot. Potentially the best defense in the league without a doubt. Um, so for this first topic, going into last year, we look at like what was really bad for the defense last year, and it kind of comes down to a couple things. I was between one, our pass defense down the stretch, playing against those better teams, like getting torched by Jameis Winston on Monday night, getting other than the 2 pick sixes, of course, right? Getting torched by Joe Burrow, like Lad McConkey and the Chargers were torching us, right? So in a way, I'm kind of talking about pass defense, but I wanted to talk more specifically about the inside linebackers because we already know how good our secondary is. Like defensive player of the year, of course. Riley Moss had a Pro Bowl year before his concussion. Jaquan McMillan is a very misleading stat line of allowing probably the most yards in the league and stuff. And then PJ Locke was kind of struggling and whatnot, but we bring in Hufanga, so I'm not worried about him. Brandon Jones, of course, is obviously good. So I want to go more into the inside linebackers because this position has been just dreadful for the past however many years it is for the Broncos, right? And last year's defense kind of covered it up a little bit better. Like we had Cody Barton. Cody Barton was balling. Shout out to him. We play him this week, matter of fact. I can hope he has a good game. But I just want to talk about, so I don't know, this position group. I'm trying to see like the potential, if that makes sense, right? So you have Alex Singleton obviously coming back, right, from a torn ACL. He also breaks his finger in training camp, so he'll be playing with a nub for a little bit, right? Even going into Alex Singleton, but we already know what to say about Alex Singleton. Obviously he struggles in pass coverage. That's his number one thing. Okay, he's all over the field. He'll give you 12 tackles a game. Good for him. It comes to a point where that running back runs that wheel route out of the backfield and Singleton's guarding him. It's an automatic touchdown, And that kind of goes for all these other linebackers too. Like Justin Sternad was looking pretty solid for when he initially came in at the beginning of the year. Then towards the end of the year, specifically that Chargers game, when I said like Lad McConkey was torching us, a lot of it was on Sternad and McMillan, but mostly Sternad I saw. And he's more of a special teams guy, but he's had all year to kind of improve on that. And then obviously We bring in Kareem Reed for the 53, our undrafted guy, over Lavelle Bailey. We bring back Lavelle Bailey to the practice squad. So, and then the elephant in the room, Dre Greenlaw, our big free agent acquisition, when healthy, probably a top 5 linebacker in the league without a doubt, right? And his pass coverage skills are, bar none, one of the best in the league by any linebacker, right? That's what you get for playing with Fred Warner for 5 years or how long he's ever played with him, right? So, fuck, I'm sputtering.
I mean, like, I think, like, my biggest thing, like, you just expect them to be so much better. And I'll even start off with my next thing because this is going to relate big time on what I think one thing will be better next year is that's just the run game. Like, having Singleton back, and Singleton isn't the best run defender at backer in the league, but him and Greenlaw are supposed to make such a big difference. Like, our run defense last year, when you look at the statistics, was top 5, top 6 in the NFL. When you look at the statistics, Buffalo had 210 yards on us in the playoff game last year. They had about like 41 minutes of total time. They absolutely killed us.
Straight
And
ground and pound.
Denver did not play any good rushing offense outside of like Baltimore. And this year they've got Baltimore. Or they don't have Baltimore. They have the Commanders who run the ball a lot with Jane Daniels. They have Josh Jacobs and the Packers. I think the Chargers will be a better run offense as well with Amarion Hampton. And the Raiders have the potential to be great with Ashton Genty. You know what I mean? They play the Colts and Jonathan Taylor. So
who was
I just
kind of cooking before that fumble last year, of course, right?
Yeah, like, so the way I see it is obviously there's a lot of things that are going to be hard to nitpick about this defense because they're supposed to be really good. I just want to see the run defense pretty much in January play how you play the whole year because they absolutely were dominated by Buffalo. They were manhandled, and I think that's just because they're a little bit smaller. I think Bonitto and Cooper they don't give you as much as maybe somebody like Nick Bosa or Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby off the edge when it comes to the run game, just because they're a little bit lighter. They're not as like thick, you know what I mean? So
they're
it's
more
like
athletic.
They're bendy guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I want to see a little bit more of Jonah Ellis on the field. I think he's an amazing run defender. And then going back to the linebackers, Greenlaw, Singleton should just help it out so much more. So I think the run defense statistically will look fine this year. I think it'll look good. But when it comes down to, hey, the offense is maybe struggling, that you need to get stops. The team is trying to, run the clock. You need to get stops. You know what I mean? You need to, in the playoffs, right? Assuming we can at least make it to the wild card round or late in December, you've got to be able to stop the run. You play the Packers super late in the season. The Week 18 game versus the Chargers, who knows, that could be a big game, and they could be clicking on offense with Hampton. So that's just the biggest thing. The run defense be better, really when it matters.
Yeah. So going back, thanks for tying in my topic a little bit. I kind of splurted out a little bit at the end there, but you're right. Like Greenlaw and Singleton, if both of them are healthy, if both of them are on the field together, I don't see our run defense being as big as a problem because I don't see anybody getting past that second level, right? Because that's what those guys are all over the field. Those guys are tackle machines, right? Greenlaw's upside in pass coverage is what I'm like excited for, and like compared to the rest of the linebacker room, that's obviously their downfall, right? And then, like you said, like Bonitto and Cooper, not the biggest guys, but more of those bendy, athletic dudes and like people are like very skeptical of extending Bonitto because they don't really see the potential. They don't see him being as good as the Myles Garrett's or the Micah Parsons and all that, But I think it's important to note that every year since Bonito's been in the league, as he's gotten more and more opportunity, he's looked better and better in every aspect of his game, even his run defense. Even if his run defense isn't as good as all those other guys right now, it is still wildly improved. That being said, I think Jonah Ellis by far is still our best run defender, and he needs more playing time, right?
Yeah.
And then like you bring back Zach Allen, you got John Franklin Myers on a contract here, you have Savion Jones to back him up, you still have DJ Jones in the interior. So logically, it shouldn't regress or anything, but it is something to note that, like, yeah, against those teams with better O lines, with great rushing games, kind of owned us. And the defense in general, not just red defense, down the stretch was getting torched in all aspects of their game, even their pass defense, right? But with this secondary that we have, like, I don't think I'm as worried as a pass defense as I am for rush defense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that will also lead us into the next thing as well. What is one thing that could possibly regress about the Broncos defense next year?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like the defensive line,
Yeah,
big question mark
we have the
emphasis.
same. Yeah.
This is the same thing because this defense. I mean, honestly, we sat and thought and really just talked about what is truly one thing that can regress, and we both just kind of landed on the defensive line emphasis, the question mark. Obviously, we touched on the run game, but I want to go back to the sack numbers, right? You led the league in sacks with 63. You know, you were second in like percentage pressure. I mean, you had 180 pressures. Like you brought everyone back, but I do think it is hard to sustain, I guess, the sack numbers, I guess the pressure numbers, even though I still think Denver will be at least top 5, 6-ish, right? If everything goes right. So I guess the biggest thing we're trying to say here is if there's one thing to regress about the Broncos defense next year, it's maybe just they don't get as many sacks. I mean, and that's just like a question. This
And
is
it's not a bad thing because they broke the franchise record in sacks last year. So,
yeah,
like, what are the odds they
yeah.
replicate that back to back years?
It just doesn't happen all the time. I think teams can consistently, like Baltimore, they consistently are on the very top half in the league in sacks. So, and this is a very good thing because it was very hard to find something that Denver could regress on, right? You're trying to find something that, what is something that maybe is just not going to be as good? What is something that we don't see coming? And it's hard for me to say anything really, but if we had to land on something, it just would be whatever. I mean, Cooper had 10 sacks last year, Bonitto had 13 and a half, 14. Maybe they both have one or two less. Maybe John Ellis doesn't get 5, right? He still has a good year. Sacks aren't everything when it comes to certain players, but maybe you don't get it too much. Maybe you get more interceptions. Maybe you get more tackles for loss. Maybe teams try to run the ball more on you, whatever that may be. So this was just something that was really hard to kind of figure out.
Yeah, we're really grasping for straws on this
Yeah.
topic because, like, secondary, you bring in Hufanga and you draft Jade Barrett, right? You don't lose anybody important. Like, you keep PJ Locke, who struggled down the stretch, not even down the stretch. He struggled pretty much all season last year. But we just moved him to the bench. It's not like we're losing him or anything, right? He's just back to the bench where he played for 2-3 years before he became a starter last season, You don't lose anybody at corner other than Damari Mathis, who didn't play at all last year, right? So, and then linebackers, like, you're getting Singleton back, you add Greenlaw. Logically, what are the odds that progresses,
Yeah, there's just nothing that really I could see getting worse unless Surtain got hurt. Like
anybody getting hurt could obviously throw this. Like, you can't predict injuries, of course. So us picking D-line isn't us saying that they're going to regress. They could very much replicate the same. It doesn't happen.
I wouldn't be shocked if they were better. I wouldn't be shocked if they're better. Wouldn't even be shocked. You throw
they get
Greenlaw in
70
there now
sacks this year. Yeah,
70. Like obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen. But it's like, I mean, if it did, is anyone gonna be like, what the hell did the Broncos got 70? Like, no, they're gonna be like, oh well. I mean, yeah. If I had to pick a
they're
team,
gonna be like, the best D-line in the league last year got better because they didn't lose anybody. Big shocker,
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
Right.
I don't see anything of potential possibly regressing. I don't.
That'll lead us into the next category. Who is one player you are excited to see on the Broncos defense next year, Bryce? His answer is none other than Nik Bonitto.
Shout out my guy. I don't know if he watches. He probably definitely doesn't.
Probably does definitely 1,000% is not.
Yeah, he's got to lock in for week 1. So I'll fucking talk
day.
shit to him when I play games with him. But I had another obvious answer for this one, and I'll go into it more. If everybody knows me on Twitter, everybody knows what I'm going to say. So I'll get into that on the next topic. But I want to talk about my guy Bonitto because as of right now, Sunday night, August 31st, he has not been extended. Okay? He is being talked about as one of the biggest free agents going into next season, right? with the information I have, I was told in the weeks leading up to this season, last week and then this week, he would have a new extension. He very much might not, I do believe we're going to extend him sometime soon. But let's just say hypothetically something stalls out. They have a little bit of miscommunication, and then Bonitto's playing this year on his last year, right? With how good Bonitto broke out last season, being third in the league in sacks, like I want to say top 5 in DPOY voting. No, not top 5, top 7, I want to say.
Yeah.
And just with every year since he's been drafted, more and more opportunities, and it's just been getting better and better in every aspect of his game, right? So good that, like, we don't notice how good the rest of the D-line looks. And people say Bonitto's sacks are more of a product of the D-line. I disagree. I think Bonitto's ability to fucking bend around the edge and
that's crazy.
Von Miller-esque 2 seconds around the tackle, like, he's already there.
Whoever thinks that is crazy. I mean, there's literally clips of him just straight up beating the tackle with pure speed and bend and hitting the quarterback.
Yeah, man, and
that's insane.
It's a very sensitive topic for me because everybody, like, with Parsons recently getting traded, everybody's talking about, oh, would you trade Bonitto and 2 first-round picks for Parsons? And
can I say something about that real quick? Can I say something about that real quick?
Go ahead. Am I gonna get angry or what?
I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, and I saw this on Twitter just a bunch. Like, guys, I love Nik Bonitto. He's one of my favorite players. You can ask anybody. I love this dude so much. He's not on the same level as Parsons. And I do think we should extend him. I'm just a little bit worried about how much he's going to ask. Is that okay to worry about? Because I think he's only had one true elite season, and I would like to see it again or something similar, at least 90% of that again.
Yep. Okay.
And that's, I do think
understandable.
He could be a lot better in the run defense, right? I think he could be a lot better in terms of
he could still improve. Like, he's definitely way better than obviously where he started.
Yeah,
but you're right. He definitely could. That's probably the weakest part of his game for sure.
I just wonder how much he's asking for. Like, I truly, like, Parsons got paid what, $47 million per year.
47 is fucking nuts.
So okay, before I say, how much would you pay Bonitto then? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
I mean, I'm a very biased guy, so
would you pay him more than $40 million per year?
No. Respectfully.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Please, Nick, if you're watching, please don't do that. I love you, my
Nick,
guy.
There's no way he's watching, but in the world of worlds he is. This is something that everyone talks about, and I'll be devastated if we don't extend this guy. And even if we did pay 40-something million, I think I'd still overpay than not pay him. I'm just putting that on record right now. But this is just something we need to talk about because, man, the edge market is insane. Like, Parsons makes basically double of what Surtain makes.
Fucking.
So
I don't even care about like the positional value, dude. That's crazy to me.
It's just something I want to. It's just something we have to talk about. It's just something we have to talk about. Honestly, I hope Nick doesn't even watch us anymore now. You better, if you ever play fucking video games with them, just don't even tell him. Don't even bring it up. I'm just saying, this is something you have to talk about, and it's just something that I feel like you mentioned, if something stalls, could that Parsons contract be kind of, I'm not saying the main reason, but could it kind of alter a little bit of the communication there? And it's just worrisome because this happens with everyone. This isn't just Nik Bonitto. It could be Surtain, Bo Nix, everyone. But they could take a step back next year. Like, they could take a step back. So it's like you would hate for anyone. This is for anyone. This is for anyone in the NFL at the age of 20 to 25 coming into a contract season who has a great year. If you pay them big money, they can take a step back. You know what I mean? And so it's just the reality.
Always the risk. Yes.
Right. So that's why I'm sitting now is like, I don't really want Nik Bonitto to play on no contract this season because I think he's going to go off. And then I think Denver's going to miss out on an opportunity to pay him because another team is going to be willing to pay him even more. So that's why I want to pay him now. And I would rather overpay him, but I just want to get an idea of where you're at on how much you would pay him, compared to everybody else, to Crosby, to Watt, to Bosa, to Parsons.
Yeah. So kind of backtracking a little bit, obviously the Parsons deal, is kind of plays a big part in this, right? That being said, Parsons is a top 2 edge in the game, and Bonitto is top 10, borderline top 10, around there, right? So there's definitely still a range. Going back to him actually talking with the organization, I know for sure, this is just from what I've heard, they've had great communication so far for however long. This was always the plan. It sounds bad, but like Bonitto was always kind of last in line. Like they needed to get Zach Allen done, they needed to get Sutton done, and all that, right? They still have to do John Franklin Myers, but conversations haven't even started with them yet, right? Because they're focused on Bonitto. Like we're going to extend Bonitto.
Yeah.
Yes, 40 million is steep.
It is.
I will tell you, he's not getting 40 million. Okay. All right. He'll get more in the range of 25 to 30 million because that's where it's always been. Yes,
that's perfect.
This deal,
if Bonitto takes 25, I'll be shocked because I honestly I would pay him. I'd pay him. I'd probably pay him 30.
He's a big Denver guy. He loves the organization. He loves all the players. He loves the fans. Like he loves everything about this place. I wouldn't be shocked if he takes 25 million. I personally would reward him. Like ever since his rookie year, man. Like his rookie year is kind of whatever. He didn't play much, right? His second year, he's sharing reps with Browning and Cooper. He wasn't starting for most of the year. He still finished second on the team in sacks. Last year, still didn't even start all 17 games, by the way, because Browning started the first 2 before he got injured. Then the second he starts, he gets 6 sacks in 6 straight games, or he gets a sack in 6 straight games to start off the season, right? Yeah. And he finishes 3rd in the league in sacks. And then obviously the 2 pick sixes, whether you want to believe they're sustainable or not, I think that just shows how smart of a player he is, how good in pass coverage it is. Because
his IQ is amazing against grades.
Yeah, people like as an edge rusher, you don't really think about pass coverage skills, but like he looks pretty goddamn good, So I would reward him. I would send him 30 mil a year.
Yeah.
Give him what would that be? Like 4 years, 120 mil, I would say. And I don't think anybody should be mad at that at all, because if you lock down him and Cooper, you won't have to, and then you have Jonah Ellis coming off the bench. You still have Dondre Tillman. You have Q Robinson now. You don't have to worry about depth. You don't have to worry about the starters, barring any injuries, of course. That goes with any position. Like the Chargers just extended Rashawn Slater, and then he just got injured, right? That could happen to anybody. Has Bonitto shown a history of that? I don't think so. Like I think he was injured his rookie year a lot, but like since then, nothing much, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something, I hope yours gets done and we can just move on and he's locked up.
Rambling. Sorry.
We love to ramble, bro. This is a rambling thing. I hope people like listening to this ramble.
That's why we started the pod, man. Everybody knows that's what I'm gonna do. I do this on Twitter. People see it now.
Moral story. I hope Bonitto is locked up for 4 years when he steps on that field and Cam Ward is on the other side. So let's go ahead and get into my player I'm most excited to see next year. And this is somebody who I think has just had I don't really know how you'd frame it. I guess it's kind of a controversial topic about Jahdae Barron.
Like, not quiet, but more under the radar.
Yeah, I just think this is something that's a process with him. Vance Joseph isn't just going to hand anyone over the rings. Like, no, he's not just going to hand you over. And it's probably what happened with Bonitto, right? Like, Bonitto had to work his ass, just to start.
Surtain.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Surtain. But if you remember, in 2021, Denver had Ronald Darby, Kyle Fuller, Bryce Callahan.
Fucking Fuller, dude. Oh, my.
Let's take a deep breath and make sure we don't start, talking about something we don't need to start talking about.
Right,
but
yeah, he worked his way into the lineup.
It's something that Vance Joseph, I think, just really prioritizes is you got to earn your spot. And Jahdae Barron has mentioned multiple times how he's trusting the process. He's taking it day by day. He just seems like a super intelligent player. I've been very, very just satisfied with the way he's tackling people, his closing speed, his IQ, his physicality. Everything about him just seems to really, show up in the games. I guess why is he the most excited player to watch? Right, when we're having this conversation about him not even starting, he's somebody that I think Vance Joseph is going to work into the defense no matter what. He's obviously, I think, been in a battle with Jaquan McMillan and at the nickel spot. And Sean Payton mentioned that he's a nickel corner with outside flexibility. So when Denver's got to play an offense that is heading into empty with 4 receiver sets, I think you're going to see him out on the field, unless Brandon Jones comes down or whatever to play inside or whatever. But
Or Hufanga, yeah,
um,
either or.
yeah, and I just think he's going to be someone you have to find a way on the field, even when it comes to calling blitzes. There was times in the preseason game he
Yeah,
was coming on blitzes. His
he would be
his closing
so fucking
speed,
good on those
uh-huh.
blitzes.
His closing speed is amazing. I just think he's somebody that is going to get meaningful playing time, and as the season goes on, like if Jaquan McMillan is having a roller coaster season like he kind of usually does,
Mm-hmm.
you may see them start to favor Jade Barron later in the year if they feel like he's more comfortable. Now, obviously, McMillan could be a lot better the next year or this year, and maybe Barron doesn't see the field too much. But this is someone that I really think is going to see the field and he's going to have an impact. Maybe not as big of an impact as he's going to have 2 years from now, but just the way you can deploy him, he reminds me a lot of DeJean in a way, with his physicality, with his
His
flexibility, with his
versatility.
IQ. He reminds me of Brian Branch. He's just got this physicality about him that doesn't really concern you that he's undersized, and so I just think that's really
Yeah.
important. He's when we picked him, obviously it was a shocker, but I agree. You always take the best player available. It worked out with Sertan. It's worked out for Sean Payton and George Payton the last 2 or 3 drafts or whatever. So,
Yep.
you know, just someone I'm excited to see.
Yeah, and I agree because obviously, like you're right. I feel like sooner or later, whether it's at nickel, whether it's at outside, whether it's at goddamn safety, middle linebacker, I don't care. He will find his way onto the field. Okay. He is a baller. All right. He would probably be our second best tackling. No, I take that back. Third best tackling middle linebacker if we put him there, if we wanted to, right? Like he's just like everybody said, like when we drafted him, he's the defensive joker. He can fill in wherever the hell he needs to be. If one person starts struggling, like you were mentioning McMillan, I get it. McMillan had stat wise a very on and off year last season. If that
It's just
continues this
like,
year, yeah, if that
yeah,
continues this year,
it's
he
just
can fill
something
in.
that can become a liability. Like I just think like it's like Sertan and Moss are on their P's and Q's and like the safeties are playing good, and then like McMillan is just struggling. Like it's definitely a reality, man. He's had those moments where it's a little. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, and the odds are kind of in Barron's favor right there. Kind of just like from a talent perspective, obviously he's a Jim Thorpe winner. He's a first round pick. Jaquan McMillan was an undrafted guy from I want to say 3 seasons ago, 4 seasons ago. So like obviously Barron's ceiling is probably way higher. That being said, I wouldn't say it's just McMillan who needs to watch out. I would say like Riley Moss is probably just as prone to get that spot taken because he says he has the flexibility to play outside. I get he's a small corner. He's probably mostly better as like a tackling corner for sure. Probably one of the best tackling corners already in the entire league. But with that experience that he had at Texas, I've seen him play outside corner just as well as nickel corner, you know? If Riley Moss continues to struggle like when he did, like when he came back from that concussion, you know, I'm a big Chris Abrams Drain guy. I'm kind of more like Abrams Drain can be Moss's backup, Barron could be McMillan's backup, vice versa, however you want to sort that in, right? But man, like Barron's just too much of a playmaker not to be on the field somehow. Like again, they're gonna work him his way in the exact same way as we did Sertan. Sertan got to pick his second career game, right? And then from there he was a starter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
like could be way wrong.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
For sure.
See how the whole season goes, and
he's got the number change, so he's fucking locked in.
Oh yeah, number 23. I like it.
Back to what was that, freshman year at Texas?
Yeah, freshman year is 23.
I like it. Clean. I messed with 12, but 23 is clean.
Wasn't bad. All right. Last category here. The offensive one it's a little bit different than the offensive one. The offensive one was a player that basically had to have a career year or breakout year outside of Bo Nick. So if you want to hear us yap about who our answers were there, make sure to go take a quick listen to last episode. But the final category for the Broncos 2025 defensive preview is who is one player who can make the defense truly, truly elite. Number one, I'm talking best in the NFL without a doubt, if they have a career year. Who is one player who can do that? And I'm just going to jump into it with my answer, and that is the other outside corner, Surtain Riley Moss. I think there's a lot of players you can go with this route, but I took Riley Moss because I think the pass rush being what the pass rush is, or the defense line as a whole, they're going to be great. If Riley Moss can play the way he was playing before his injury, and even better, and you have Surtain playing how he's playing, it's going to be really, really hard for offenses to do anything. It is going to be hard. If Riley Moss plays or has the best year of his career, you have two guys on the outside who are locked down. You've got two safeties who do what they do. You've got the improved linebacker core. You've got the deep. Like, if Riley Moss takes a season career and does what he's supposed to do on the outside, it's going to get quarterbacks hell. And it's going to force teams to have to learn how to run the football. And it's going to have to force teams to learn how to throw the ball underneath. And it's just, I just think, I mean, man, when's the last time you saw a team with two shutdown corners? Well, I like to go back and look at Philadelphia because that secondary was amazing. And you saw what they did to Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I think even watch Kansas City, and I think this is more of Spags just being an absolute genius of a defensive coordinator. But when they had McDuffie and Snead, like, oh my gosh, this is just one of those things where if you can have Riley Moss play as like a top 16, top 18 corner, or even better than that, oh my gosh, I just think Vance Joseph is going to be able to do so many different things with this defense.
And he was performing like a top corner in the league for that small stretch. Yes, he would allow maybe like one catch for over however many yards it was, like every game or every other game and whatnot. Like that doesn't mean that he was playing bad at all. He was playing pretty goddamn well. And then like that goes back to like what we were talking about today, Barron right now. Let's say like McMillan struggles, Barron comes in, takes his spot. Barron's playing lights out and the slot corner, right? You're right. Like Riley Moss can, let's say like 70% of what Surtain does on one side of the field, and they just absolutely shut down their receiver, their side of the field. Where do they throw? Do you throw underneath to where Barron's covering to like our improved linebacker core is, or do you try to run the football against one of the best D lines in football, right? So like I completely agree with you on that. I think everybody's rooting for Riley Moss. There's that one, I don't know if you saw that photo of him with his full beard at practice the other day. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Just being a quarterback in the NFL, looking like my goddamn dad.
He looks
just funny. That's so funny as hell to me, man.
He looks like a Viking, bro. He needs to shave that.
He said he's gonna cut it, but I was like, dude, like, I don't know. I kind of mess with it. This is like looks like my redneck father playing cornerback, but
no, I mean, like last year, like Riley Moss, like I've seen so many different pages on Twitter and even Instagram, like ranking corners, and he's like out of the top 40. Like
that Bengals game.
The Bengals game. I'm getting with the Bengals game because it was a nationally televised game on a Saturday with playoff implications. Oh my gosh.
Against
everybody
the best
watching
wide
that,
receiver too in football.
He was coming off an injury. He missed like 4 games. Coming off an injury, playing Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase out on the road with still Surtain as the other guy. Like, oh my gosh, it has like brainwashed people to think Riley Moss is not good. Like
that, and also probably being a white cornerback. Like everybody thinks of it as like a meme.
Unfortunately, right? Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like last year, he allowed, according to Pro Football Reference, he allowed 747 total yards and 4 touchdowns. And he had a 95.4 passer rating when targeted. Like, okay, when you read that, and he allowed, I think, 65% completion percentage. So when you read that, it's like, oh man, Riley Moss was trash last year. Like,
whatever, yeah.
Guys, me and Bryce are some diehards, and I'm sure people listening to this are too. So too. We watched every snap. Riley Moss was very good last year. Very good. Yes, he was like his second year, right? So it's like
second
third
year,
year.
first year full healthy. Or not even fully
First year,
healthy.
fully healthy and starting. Yes, you're playing Sertan's the opposite corner. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't care who else is on the team.
They're not gonna throw
You're
at
gonna get
him.
targeted. You're gonna get targeted. You're gonna give up catches, but he was so good. Like, that Bengals game has everybody brainwashed. Everybody brainwashed who did not watch that game as a Broncos, or even like, it's just, man, it's rough. It kind of
is a
sucks. That's what
shame.
nationally televised TVs do to you, like games do to you. It's just, oh my gosh, you watch one game and you forget about all the outside circumstances that one player is having to deal with in that one game, and everybody's perspective changes. It's just so frustrating.
At the same time, like, we do play the Bengals again. We're gonna play Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. We're gonna play better teams.
We got a
Can
brutal
he
wide
improve?
receiver.
Yeah.
We've got a brutal wide receiver schedule. I think Cam Ward and Ridley will even be good. Like, Colts,
They might
whatever.
utilize Ridley more in the slot to kind of get rid of him from Surtain. I feel like.
I just think Ridley's going to be heavily targeted week 1. We'll get into
They
that
have
on
no
a
one
preview.
else. They got
Like,
Tyler
we'll
Lockett.
get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just in terms of the receivers we play, man, you've got obviously McConkey in the slot, Mahomes, and then play the Chiefs. You've got Nico Collins and CJ Stroud. You've got to play Dak and CeeDee Lamb, Jordan Love, and that young receiving group. Geno Smith, and I think Bowers and Jacoby Myers requested the trade, but Bowers, like, you've just
We'll see
got
if he's still
some
there.
receivers, man. Yeah, you've got some tough players to go against. Riley Moss does specifically. So, more of the category, the story is, if I think he has like a bona fide elite season, the defense is going to be really, really hard to throw against. They're going to be, I think, top 3, top 2 in basically every passing advanced statistic. So, let's get into yours, Bryce. I think a lot of people probably already guessed it if they know you well enough. Who is one player who can take this defense to the truly elite level with a career year?
Don't put the topic on yet. Don't put the banner on yet. Ah,
I
well,
just
there
did.
you go. There you go. It got spoiled. Everybody, yeah, you're right. Everybody probably already knew. But I was going to kind of warm up into it. So, obviously, you got the defensive player of the year, an all-pro in your secondary, right? You bring in Nufanga. You got Brandon Jones, who had 100 tackles as a safety last year. Is probably bona fide top 10 safety in the league now, right? Riley Moss, Jody Barron, Jaquan McMillan, all good, right? Then you go to your defensive line. You got two more all-pros, Zach Allen and Bonitto, right? That's an all-pro at every level except the second level, okay? Who better to bring than the best linebacker in the NFL's sidekick for 3-4 years? Like, San Fran went to the Super Bowl for 2 years with this, and like, San Fran wins that Super Bowl. Greenlaw doesn't tear his Achilles on the sideline. Like, that dude was just moving around like different, like an air dye. He might have been cracked out of his mind, and they might have drug tested him after the game, and maybe he gets suspended. But
no more smelling salts. No more smelling salts.
That's not true. They're not
Unbelievable
banned.
NFL.
They're not banned. That was fake.
I thought
So
they
he
were.
can still do it. No, I think it was fake.
Oh, no.
I think somebody said it was fake. But
I
good
saw
for
them
us,
telling
because
Devontae.
I'd like to see cracked out Greenlaw again. I know he's kind of gotten banged up this offseason, right? He was banged up in the one game he came back for last season against the Rams. Like, he played that first half. I need to bring up the stat. That's the game I should have brought up the stats for. He had like 8 tackles in the first half, whatever. Like, flying around the field. Nothing looks different from how he looked before that Achilles tear, right? He has serious all-pro potential, and I can't stress that enough. Like, and as good as the defense this is, he's gonna have the green dot, right? Singleton coming back, like, yes, Broncos fans love some Broncos fans love Singleton, but
very split.
Yeah, very, very split. But yeah, he can't be your green dot on as good as the defense this is, right? Bring in Dre Greenlaw with his pass coverage skills off the charts. He can lock up the middle of the field if Riley Moss has a breakout or has a career year, like you were saying. If Surtain obviously replicates what he did, you have Hufanga and Jones over the top. Then you have Greenlaw over the middle, or Greenlaw chasing you down when you break the pocket, right? Like Dre Greenlaw's been one of my favorite players to watch, like ever since he's entered the league. Like I just love the way he plays. He plays so like early 2000s to me, which is just so extinct nowadays. And you could just see like how much Warner meant to him. Like I think him being the green dot of this defense, him being the glue that kind of holds our defense together. I'm so fucking excited to see him play, man. I just can't stress that enough. I understand the injuries are a concern. Then again, there are 2 minor injuries. We've been kind of, I think they said he's on a pitch count this week for the Tennessee game.
Yeah, you're going to see Lavelle Bailey for sure.
You know, ease him into it. I'm fine with that. Because if that means we're going to get 100% Dre Greenlaw later in the year when we play the Chiefs, when we play the Commanders or later in the year, when we play the Texans, all those other teams, all those top tier teams, you know, and then we get to the playoffs, like, man, like I cannot stress enough how excited, like I would buy his jersey tomorrow. Like I have no money right now. I would buy his jersey tomorrow if I haven't already, because like this dude is going to elevate our defense to all-time potential if he's healthy, right?
Yeah, I think if Greenlaw is even like 85% of his peak, like the defense is just going to be phenomenal. Like he's just going to do. I mean, the last time we had like some kick-ass backers was probably Trevathan and Todd Davis.
Brandon Marshall.
Oh yeah, and Brandon Marshall too. Like he's just gonna bring. Like I love what Robert May says on the Athletic Football Show. Is this defense was really good, but they lacked like a level of like ass kicking. Like they weren't like ass kickers. Like they didn't have that like attitude. Like there was no attitude. Yeah, and now like we're not talking about Hufanga, but like Greenlaw and Hufanga like bring that, man. Like it's just like
that's exactly what
it's just something that like the defense has like lacked, and so you bring that in now, and it's just he's just somebody who I just really hope can stay healthy. Like I'm gonna let Bryce be the super optimistic person. I'm gonna keep it a little slightly more real. I just think like there's just been red flags already with the little knick-knack injuries. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if he's not fully ready for week 1, I'd rather them just sit him. That's just a take from me. I know you probably hate hearing that, but it's just something that
because they kind of eased into him all preseason. Like he suited up for the last preseason game, and I was like all excited. I was like, oh, he's gonna play 1 possession. That's all I need to see. They ended up not playing him. And I was like, damn, that sucks. But that's probably the smart.
I'm just worried. It's just like
everybody has a reason to worry about Dre Greenlaw. I get it. Okay, I'm probably his biggest supporter, without a doubt. Like I'm going to be super optimistic. I know how good he is. Like he wasn't an All-Pro in San Fran because obviously they have Warner. They credited Warner more, but like obviously no 49ers fans are watching this, but if you watch 49ers shows, man, like they were devastated when Greenlaw left in free agency. Like one of the few needle movers this free agency had, you know, and people just kind of like shrugged it off. You know, I seen Broncos fans talking about, oh, well, if he can sign. Oh, Zach Bond was second in depoy this year. He just coming off the best year of his career. What if we can sign him? I was like, yeah, but that's 1 year in his career, and he's on the wrong side of 30 already. Nik Bolton re-signs with the Chiefs. Everybody's all like, oh, he's probably like the best linebacker in the West. I was like, he's probably one of the worst pass coverage linebackers I've ever seen, and Chiefs fans can admit that. Chiefs fans complain about it every goddamn game, right? I've been pushing Dre Greenlaw since at least 2022, for sure. Because like I'm just like in this situation, I was like, oh, what if San Fran doesn't want to pay him because they have Warner, which Warner is better. Warner is the best in the league still, for sure. But
yeah, I'm just worried.
That much time in that system, we know how good he could play. He wins San Fran that Super Bowl. But Travis Kelce didn't have a catch until Greenlaw went down, and then Kelce finished with 9 catches in that game, right? And then just him flying all over the field, like he can make these tackles and everything too. Like he's just like Singleton in that way. And then going into like how much that could rub off on Singleton, that could rub off on Drew Sanders when or if he comes back, on Sternad and the rest of the linebacker core, right? So I'm just like, his presence alone, I feel like, is just such a massive addition to this team. Barring like what you said, if he plays 85% of what he was, that's still astronomically better than all of our middle linebacker play in probably this past 5 years in this decade.
Yeah, I just think like there's a lot of like there's always one or two things that goes wrong for NFL teams, and I just think injuries is one that is for Denver, and I think Greenlaw is probably the first person I think about. And I'm just worried we have to watch another season of Alex Singleton and Justin Sternad or a lot of
Exactly.
Kareem
Like,
Reed.
I'm not a
Bailey.
Singleton guy. Okay.
So,
and most people on Twitter aren't because everybody knows how limited he is. Wrong side of 30, coming off an ACL tear, and now a thumb injury. So he's going to be playing with a thumb or playing with a nub.
I just think like right now, like I don't even think I'm higher on Singleton than I think most Bronco fans, just because like I obviously like everyone recognizes the fact that he's not that great in pass coverage. Like he's actually pretty underwhelming. But like in terms of filling the hole and having good instincts, like he's a tackling machine. Like I don't even think I think if people watched, I think if you got to experience Alex Singleton in 2023 and then had to experience like I don't even know the second or worst backer in the league, like the Rams linebackers for the last like 2 years, like you probably have a better they probably have a more respect for Singleton.
Yeah, maybe we are spoiled.
I just don't think Bronco fans realize how much worse you can do than Alex Singleton. And so like I'm just kind of throwing it out there, but
exactly.
like you said,
we're
Greenlaw,
bitching about that, but this is still the defense with the most depth in the league, with just the highest upside, right? Like for sure, like we're just finding something to critique because you're right. Injuries can happen. Something could go wrong. Obviously, you can't predict any of that. If you do want to predict that, like Denver's kind of been on the lucky side these past couple of years. With
that's just the one
and
thing
all
I'm
that.
worried about. Yeah,
we're
gonna have a season prediction, and we can get into a lot of big team concerns.
Exactly.
I think that's a big talking
That's a topic
point
for another day.
So, but that's gonna wrap it up. Man, we really appreciate if you guys listened. It's been pretty fun doing this. We're gonna continue doing it all throughout the season. And like we said, we'll have
we'll start live streaming post games reactions.
Yeah,
just to get
y'all can look out for that. Y'all will look out for that. And like as soon as the game's done, we plan to be doing live streams after that. So that we're looking forward to that. And like I said, like for the third time, we're gonna do a season prediction, our record predictions. We're gonna go game by game, and just give an overall, team preview on just what we can expect, and then we'll have the week 1 preview with the Titans. So just be on the lookout for that. Yeah, we're already a week away, man. By this time next week, we'll probably either be pretty happy or absolutely devastated.
We'll be pretty happy. All right, we're not gonna put that out there.
Y'all need to listen to the preview because I got some things to say. Y'all about to find out real quick, who the bad cop and the good cop is on this damn podcast. Y'all about to find out real quick.
Oh, I'll keep it real, okay? I won't keep it real this week, for sure.
Y'all, we're both gonna keep it real, but like I think Bryce's level was like a 5, and then you're about to see how mine is. Because that's just how
that's fine. I'll be a 5. I'll be the guy who everybody could relate
I need you to be a 5. I need you to be more.
Oh, dude, if we were both,
I don't think people want to. I don't think people both want to sit here and listen to just us talk about how Cam Ward and the Titans might walk into Denver and upset us. I'm just like,
there's a rookie quarterback every single season that just takes the league by storm, right? And there's not many QB options this season. That's the only thing I'll mention. All
right, let's stop it there. Let's stop it there. Let's stop it. All right.
That being said, one so much for listening. This time next week.
All right. Appreciate you guys for listening. We really do appreciate it. We'll have the predictions out this upcoming week. So, any last words?
Nothing from me, man. Y'all guys take care.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.